that there's gonna be a few surprises, and I think the Chargers are going to surprise a lot of people because you're getting back some people that were hurt last year, right in the middle of your offensive line. You've got some really good wide receivers. You've got a terrific running back. You got a nasty, angry defense, and I think that things are going to kind of mature along as far as your quarterback is concerned. A lot of people are going to be surprised, I think.
And speaking of the quarterback and some of these young guys, let's get into them. Let's introduce these guys and get to know them a little bit.
Yeah.
The first guy, 42 career starts at the University of Oregon, a Rose Bowl champion, the number 6 overall pick, Justin Herbert joins us. This next guy, UVA, a first-team All-ACC, as a kick returner and as an all-purpose guy, 5th-round wide receiver Joe Reed, and the all-time receptions leader from Ohio State. A lot of people think that this was a steal in the 7th round, Jim. KJ Hill from The Ohio State University. Gentlemen, welcome. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
Doing well. Thank you.
Doing good.
Yeah, first of all, Justin, let's start off talking about you. How have you have things kind of calmed down for you just a little bit? Are you still going 100 miles an hour because you're trying to get used to being a professional now and trying to get in that playbook, even though we are hampered by the disease that we have going around?
Yeah, great question. Definitely tough circumstances for sure. But I made the drive down to LA a couple weeks ago, so I've been living down here and setting up everything, getting to work and getting the playbook, throwing, running, doing all those great things. So it's been great so far.
What about the verbiage? Is that kind of confusing to you right now?
No, it's not too bad. We've been fortunate enough to have some meetings, so we've been able to go over it. Had a lot of time to spend on it. So it's pretty similar to what we did at Oregon, just a little more complex. So we're getting after it.
And Chris, a lot of people want to see Justin in action real soon. So we have to take it nice and easy because this is a little bit different than collegiate ball.
Well, Justin, I want to show you something. You've probably seen it 100 times over the last couple of weeks, but I think you kind of called your shot with the Chargers. We got a picture of you wearing a Chargers t-shirt as a kid. Look at this. This is incredible, man. I still, every time I see it, it blows my mind. And you even had schoolwork. You're going to live in California, Los Angeles. Look at that. You don't like fish pizza, which is incredible. I've never heard of fish pizza. Your favorite team's the Chargers, and you're going to be a professional football player. You called your shot at a young age, Justin. How has the last couple of weeks been knowing that all of this has happened?
It's been incredible. It's one of those things where you have to kind of pinch yourself. And I think a couple days after the draft, I told my parents that I was going to drive down, and I think they were a little not upset, but maybe sad that I was leaving, but they knew that it was for the best. And I think probably the greatest part about that is that not only did I call the shot, but I called the Chargers moving back to LA. And so I thought that was pretty special.
You nailed all of it. Jim, have you ever had fish pizza? Fish pizza, Jim?
Ever had who?
Fish pizza. Justin said that was the food he dislikes the most.
Hey, listen, I can top that one. Have you ever had pickled pig's feet?
Can't say that I have.
Well, okay then. See, don't. and also, so when we think about it, Justin, you're coming in this rookie class. You've got 2 really good receivers right here. So this could be the tandem of something to build on. Not only you get to know each other this year, but for the future and establish yourself as one of the greats of the game.
It's a great opportunity. Just like you said, I think KJ is coming down here pretty soon. So especially with Joe, we'll get to work as soon as we can. And it's a great opportunity for us. And it's a chance that we've always asked for. And I know these 2 guys are going to do everything they can. And I'm really looking forward to it.
And Joe, as far as you're concerned, I was reading up on you. It's really amazing, your humble background that you come from. But there was something that I wanted to ask, and it's about a saying that you try to live by. It is earn, not given. Where did that come from, and what does it mean to you?
Yeah, so that's something Coach Mendenhall brought into UVA football when he got here. We had to earn everything. Everything in the locker room. We had to earn our jersey numbers. We had to earn our chair in the meeting room. So, it was just to really, work as hard for everything that you want. And if you don't work for it, then you're not going to get it, especially in this program. So earn, not given is something that I've been working through and living by since Coach Mendenhall got here at Virginia.
What has your family told you about the next step in becoming a professional?
Yeah, just be smart and carry myself like a professional. Now it's bigger than myself. I'm representing myself and the Los Angeles Chargers. So really just being smart in my actions, being smart of who I'm being around, and everything that I'm doing.
Chris, he's going to be a good one. He's going to be a real good one.
He is going to be a good one. And he mentioned his college head coach, Bronco Mendenhall. I had a chance to catch up with Coach Mendenhall to talk about Joe coming to the Chargers. Here's a little bit of what he had to say, Joe. Then I want you to react to this.
Hi.
So I didn't recruit Joe. I inherited Joe. And I watched every recruit. I stayed up most of the night that was currently signed. And there was one player, and of the many that I liked, but there was one specifically that was my favorite on high school film that I had just instantly had a feeling about, oh, this guy, he's going to be special. And it was Joe Reed's film.
That's pretty cool. And the fact that he didn't recruit you, but he said his first night in Charlottesville, he looked at your tape, said that this is going to be the guy he's going to ride with. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, so actually at my home visit, when he came to visit me at home, he told me the exact same story. And, the reassurance really helped me because I wasn't too sure what was going to happen. The previous coach had recruited me for about 3 years. And then, right before the spring of graduating high school, there was a coaching change. So I was kind of uneasy at first. But after Coach Mendenhall came to my house and told me that story and, told me how excited he was to get to work with me, it was definitely an exciting moment for me. And, from that day on, I've trusted everything he said, everything he's taught me, and we've just gone from there.
All right, let's talk a little bit to KJ right now, because KJ, you got a name to live up to, my brother. I mean, KJ Hill, because our family tree has many branches. KJ, somewhere down the road, we just might be and could be related.
KJ, I don't know if you can hear because you just got put back in here. Can you hear me? Jim, I think KJ's having a hard time here right now. So we'll try to get his audio up and go back to Joe real quick. Because, Joe, you were first team all ACC as a kick returner and as an all-purpose player. So speak to what you think you can bring to this Chargers team on a very explosive offense, but you can do a lot of different things, Joe.
Yeah, so that's something I really take pride in. When I'm studying plays, I try to study each and every position. I feel like I'm a guy that you can put literally anywhere in the offense. So, I take pride in knowing where each guy is lining up, what each guy has to do, because I never know when, something might happen, somebody might go down, and I can jump in and just play ball. So, I really like just playing football, whether it's, inside, outside, in the backfield. And on top of that, I love changing the game with special teams. So whatever phase that might be, special teams can be really a huge game changer for our team.
No doubt.
Chris, when I'm here, sitting here and I'm watching Justin, and Justin, I'm watching you watch these two fine receivers, and it's almost like you can hardly wait for the three of you to get together and really start to establish yourself. This is a really cool way for you to come into the league. You got some established veterans as wide receivers, and you have these two gentlemen that are going to be great wide receivers as well.
Oh, definitely. I've been able to watch some film of these two, and especially some of the receivers already on the roster. And I'm really excited, and I think the receivers are the quarterback's best friend. So really excited to get to work with those guys, and I'm really fired up for the opportunity.
Yeah, Chris, this is really amazing. When I remember when I came in, a lot of guys were kind of shy and didn't want to talk a lot, but we're talking to three young, mature men who want to come in. They are professionals, and they're going to make big contributions to this Los Angeles Chargers football team. Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. And the thing, Joe, I go back to you too, because you look at this wide receivers room in this running backs room, when you see guys like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Austin Eckler, Justin Jackson, Joshua Kelly, another rookie in the backfield. How much does that put you at ease knowing that you can learn a lot from these guys while at the same time also producing?
Yeah, that's the thing I've really been doing, watching these guys. I've been watching a lot of film on all the guys you just named, seeing their play style, seeing what works best for them in this system. And, just getting out there and being able to line up beside them and compete with them is going to be very exciting for me.
Joe, how can Oh, there he is. KJ, can you hear us now? Can you hear us now, KJ? Oh, it looks like we're still having a little difficulty
He can
with him.
see us. He can hear us. KJ, can you
Yeah.
hear us?
I can hear you, Chris.
Okay, KJ can hear me, Jim. I don't know. He may be having issues on that side, but let me ask KJ this. KJ, all-time receptions leader at The Ohio State University. What was it like when you heard your name called by the Chargers?
Man, it was a dream come true. You know, I always dreamed of my name getting called, even just seeing my phone ring. You know, I just, you know, I had a lot of. It was with my family, so it was one of the best moments of my life.
That's so cool. And we had I want to throw to something because our Haley Elwood talked to Chris Carter last week, a former Ohio State wide receiver. He had a lot of good things to say about you. Let's go to this clip and then we'll have you react to it.
I think he's been an all-around good player. He has great hands. He understands football. He understands route running, leverage. That's the reason why he's been able to be successful. If you look at all the players, the records that he broke in pursuit of becoming the all-time receiver at Ohio State, a lot of those guys went on to have pretty good pro careers. So if he's able to continue growing that, then he should be able to make a contribution to an NFL team.
I tell you what, Chris Carter, David Boston, Terry Glenn. I mean, there are so many amazing Ohio State wide receivers. What does it mean to be the all-time leading receiver?
Man, it took a lot of hard work, you know, but just to even know, like, my name being in the same categories as those guys is just a blessing, you know. Looking at that video, Chris Carter, he, you know, mentored me last year because I was going to come out and enter my name in the draft, but, you know, he told me to maximize here. You know, that's a big part in that, me staying in school, and I feel like it helped me out a lot, and he told me my talents and maximize my career. I think he did, and, you know,
And as
Jim,
far as
go ahead,
I
Jim.
wanted to ask Joe a question. Joe, I wanted to find out, how are you going to keep from being in awe now that you are in the NFL?
Yeah, just staying grounded. You know, continue to be humble, take it day by day, just like I have been. I think that's the biggest thing. Just staying grounded. Don't let the process get too big for me. Just keep the faith.
When you talk about the process, do you know what that process is and how you can get through this process to be successful?
Yeah, so we've been talking in our meetings just about how to maximize our abilities here in the league, and that's just going to come from using resources, using my time well, learning from the vets, and you know, the combination of those three things, I think that'll help a lot with the process.
And Justin, how anxious are you to get with your new teammates and so they can learn you and you learn them and get this thing rolling, so that, you know, there's a lot of wonderful things that can happen because you are living right now in the sports capital of the world?
A ton. I mean, it's a wonderful opportunity. And, you know, like I said earlier, I'm down here, so I've had the chance to lift with some of those guys, some of the offensive linemen, a couple receivers, and just being around those guys is cool, and just to get to know them. And so I know one day we'll go out here really soon and start throwing the ball around. So whenever these guys show up, I'm looking forward to it, and it's definitely helped us so far, and I'm going to keep doing that and looking forward to it.
And Chris, it must be really interesting and sometimes difficult for these young men to try to get to know each other when we have to go through what we are right now with this pandemic.
It's got to be an adjustment. KJ, what has the adjustment been like for you to do all of this virtually, to meet your new teammates via Zoom and having to learn the playbook remotely? I imagine it's not what you expected, but you make the most of it.
Yeah, you got to make the most of it. You know, you just adapt to the situations, you know, but I feel like learning this way is going to have me have it down packed, you know. I'm a kind of guy that go out, you know, and move through it, get that muscle memory of plays and stuff like that. But I feel like just learning like I was in the classroom, you know, will help me learn the plays even more.
Yeah, KJ, this is Jim. Can you hear me? No, he still can't hear me. But Chris, ask him who his favorite wide receiver is in the NFL and why.
I will. KJ, you can't hear Jim, but he wants to know who your favorite wide receiver is in the NFL and why.
My favorite wide receiver was Jarvis Landry. biggest part about Jarvis Landry's game is just you feel him, when you watch him play. He has that dog mentality about him, and he lets you know every time he dominates, and I just love that about him. And I feel like we got a similarity in our games.
And what about Joe?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mike Thomas. Just the production, the swag on the field, just how he carries himself. So that's what I would go with.
And Justin, what about you? What quarterback in the NFL really impresses you? Someone that you really would like to have your game pattern after?
Yeah, I would say Tom Brady. He's one of those guys that has had so much success, and just the way he goes at the game and how smart he is, and just the way he's handled everything. It's been really fun to watch, and one of those guys that you just want to model your game after, the way he throws, the way he reads defenses, and the way he plays the game.
Yeah, and all those rings kind of help too, don't they?
Doesn't hurt.
Chris, this is a well-rounded group of young men that the Chargers have, and I can see nothing but really good things in store for them on this team.
Yeah, the foundation has been built, you could tell, with all these guys. And Justin, Mario Cristobal, your head coach at Oregon, he just had nothing but glowing things to say about what the Chargers are getting in Justin Herbert. Let's hear from Mario, and you can react to your coach.
Justin himself, I can't say enough about this guy. And I get it. Look, when you get guys on your show to talk about their former players and how they're getting drafted, I'm sure they all gush about them. But I take a good hard look at what this young man has done academically, on the field, the adversities have to overcome between the coaching changes, the injuries, and what he's been able to do with all that stuff. And the fact that he's just getting started, he's just scratching the surface. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better coaching opportunity to be around a guy like him, and I couldn't wish a better situation for any NFL team than a guy like Justin Herbert to be on that team.
Wow,
Justin, that's absolutely incredible. I'd like you to talk about. You just got through here and talk about the adversity that you had to overcome. You're going to have adversity every game in the NFL. What did you learn in college about adversity and how to overcome it?
Yeah, that's a great question. When I first showed up at Oregon, Oregon has historically had a lot of success. They were in the national championship a couple years ago, and my first year we went 4-8, and I came in midway through the year, and our coaches ended up leaving, and had a new coach the next year, and then the next year after that we had another coach, and so we went through 3 different offenses, a bunch of different strength and conditioning programs, a couple broken collarbones, some injuries like that, and we just went through a lot. And so from 4-8 to 12-2 and winning the Rose Bowl, we had a core group of guys that stuck through it and stayed together. And it could have gone a bunch of different ways, but just to be around those guys and to go through everything we did was really great.
And then you go down and you're the MVP at the Senior Bowl as well.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was one of those things that I didn't want to shy away from. I just wanted to go compete and have fun and get better. So it was a great week, really enjoyed it, and glad the way things turned out.
And when you were there at the Senior Bowl, did you get a sense that sometimes that some of the other players that were there from around the country they may have been in awe of you because of everything you have accomplished?
No, I don't think so. I think there were just so many talented guys there. It was just fun to be around them, get to meet them, and things like that. But I don't think anyone was too in awe of me at that time.
Chris, I know better. I heard stories. There were some guys down there that were in awe of him. He's being cool. I like that.
Hey, his pre-draft process was incredible. He showed up at all the big events, whether it's the Senior Bowl, the Combine, his pro day, and did really big things. Hey, KJ, I want to ask you about Keenan Allen and sharing a wide receivers room with Keenan Allen. Daniel Jeremiah is the NFL Network's lead draft analyst. He said that of all the wide receivers in this perhaps probably the deepest wide receiver class that we've ever seen in really the history of the draft, you were in the top 3 or 4 in terms of hands. And he said his advice to you was to just shadow Keenan Allen and learn the ways of being a pro, route running. What is it going to mean to you to share that room with Keenan?
It's going to mean a lot. I feel like I can elevate my game, watching him, taking in, because he's a vet, he's been doing it for a long time. And I feel like me and him, sharing the same attributes. but we know how to get open. You know, I watched his. I studied him a lot in college. The way he maneuvered in the slot, the way he stuff. So, I'm real familiar with his game, but it's gonna be like a great thing to do. Following him.
Chris, please ask KJ, what does he think is the best part about his game? Is it his, because I heard him mention some really wonderful things. Is it his route running? Is it his a mental approach to the game? Is it his hands? Can he intimidate the defenders?
KJ, Jim wants to know what your number one strength is as a wide receiver. I know you possess a lot, but what would be number one?
I feel like number one is my hand. My whole career at Ohio State only had 9 drops, 200 and something. So, I just feel like my greatest strength. You might get in every now and then, but confident with my hand.
Justin, you hear that? Only 9 drops when in college. That's incredible.
That's music to a quarterback's ears.
Yeah, I heard it, and that's good to know.
Hey, Jim, I have to ask Joe something. I want you to respond. Joe, can you tell Jim what frog gigging is? Because I think he may want to connect with you on a couple of things.
That's funny. I knew that was going to come up here.
You knew you could. We had about 4 minutes left.
Yeah, so I'm from a small town called Charlotte Courthouse, Virginia. We got about 500, a little over 500 people. One of the things we like to do is gig frogs. So when it gets dark, we'll hit the pond, get in the John boat, and basically just go out there and spear frogs. So you shine a light on them, and then you gig them with the spear, take them back, take the legs off, and fry them up and eat them.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Let them know, Jim.
Oh yeah, no, because remember earlier I talked about pickled pig's feet. In Texas, that's where I'm from. That is something that a lot of people eat. Pickled pig feet. But let me tell you something. Joe, since we talk about frogs, when I was in college, I wanted to find a way to get kicked out of my biology class. I found a way. I took a cherry bomb firecracker because, you have labs, right? And you got to dissect a frog. I got a cherry bomb firecracker. I put it in the frog. I sewed it up. I put it on a gurney and slid about halfway up the aisle, lit a match to it. I blew the frog up, and frog stuff was just everywhere. The professor, this is a true story, Joe. Listen to me very carefully now. The professor was writing on the blackboard. He never turned around. He said, "Mr. Hill, get out."
You.
Yeah, so we had history on doing a lot of things. Yes.
Okay. Nothing more needs to be said, I guess.
You got that right.
He knew, man. Hey, before we wrap up, one last question for everybody. I just want to remind folks that we're doing something really cool on Chargers.com, a dog draft. And this is something that has caught a lot of steam. The Chargers partnering with LA Animal Services to help these undrafted free agents find their forever homes. You look at these 5 pups. These pups are available, and they'd be a great addition really to any team. So go to chargers.com/dog draft, build your puppy roster, and find out how you can help the undrafted free agents in our local shelters. So something that really cool things that we're doing on chargers.com, Jim.
Justin, when you think about all these things, there's going to be a lot of pressure put on your time because, coming in as the number 1 draft choice, or just like the other 2 gentlemen, how are you going to manage your time when everyone is going to want to talk to you and everyone's going to want a piece of Justin Herbert?
Yeah, football comes first, and my family's been real supportive in that way, and they know when it's time to get to football, they know to kind of give me my space, and I'll always be there for them, and they'll always be there for me. But football comes first, so anything I have to do for the playbook, throwing, running, lifting, those things, those take priority.
And we are all going through something that we're learning some life lessons. And Justin and KJ and Joe, I'd like for the 3 of you to talk about what you are learning from this controversy that we're going through now. That we're not talking about that will help you be a great football player, because we know that eventually is going to happen. But how is this going to help you to grow up to be a young man, a responsible young man that gives back to the community?
And guys, before you answer, give us 15 seconds. We have about 45 seconds left in our program, so about 15 seconds each.
Oh yeah, just appreciating everything, being appreciative, and understand that a lot of people will be in different circumstances. So anytime you can give a reaching hand, it always helps.
KJ, what about you, bud?
What was the question?
Just staying positive in times like this.
Yeah. I just always kept God first. Things happen for a reason, but as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and keeping God first, I know everything will play out like it will.
And Justin, you have the final word, my friend.
Don't take anything for granted. Be around your family, spend time with them, enjoy the little things, and you never know when they can be taken from you. And just to enjoy every moment and really live in the moment.
First-class players, Jim, but more importantly, first-class people. Justin Herbert, Joe Reed, KJ Hill, welcome to the LA Chargers. We can't wait to see you on the grass very shortly. And Jim, we're going to do this again tomorrow with 3 more rookies, but they have a lot to live up to, let me tell you.
I think they're prepared. They'll do well. And in listening to these young men, they're going to grow and mature to be outstanding citizens that give back to football and back to the community. And they're all going to, as I always like to say, keep the faith.
Keep the faith. Guys, thank you so much. Folks, thank you for checking us out tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow back here 7 o'clock with Kenneth Murray, Alohi Gilman, and Joshua Kelly.
Thanks for having us. Go on.